welcome back to another episode on my channel. It's once again John O'Brien, as always. And today today is the international break. We're now a few days into the we're now into the international break, a 2-week international break, where the England men's team have 2 games: a friendly against Australia at Wembley, and then a game also, and then a Euro qualifier against Italy at Wembley. So 2 games. The England men's team, the England senior men's team, play 2 games today: a friendly against Australia and a Euro 2024 qualifier against Italy, both at Wembley. Australia obviously is friendly, so nothing really matters. So the result doesn't really matter. The Italy result does matter. If we beat Italy, we qualify. If England beat Italy on Tuesday, we qualify for Euro 2024. But if we draw against Italy and Ukraine pick up a result against North Macedonia, we also qualify for the next round. So there's 2 ways England can qualify on Tuesday for Euro 2024, which is great. Not 1 way, 2 ways. But enough of that. We're here to discuss the first game, which is England at Wembley against Australia. It is only the second meeting between England and Australia. The last one was 7 years ago in 2016. It was also, just like the game on tomorrow, a friendly. And I need to quickly check what England. I'm going to quickly check what the score was. I've got to connect to the Wi-Fi first. Okay. It was a friendly, the friendly that I was talking about. Was a 2-1 win at Wembley on the 28th of May 2016. Goals from Marcus Rashford in the 3rd minute and England legend Wayne Rooney gave us a 2-1 win over Australia, which included an own goal from Eric Dyer. So yeah, England versus Australia, international match at 7:45 p.m. on Friday the 27th of May 2016 at the Stadium of Light. It was a 2-1 England win. England took the lead through Marcus Rashford in the 3rd minute, and then in the 55th minute went 2-0 up through England legend Wayne Rooney, and then Australia pulled a goal back through an own goal from Eric Dyer, but couldn't find a second, and the game ended 2-1. So yeah, 2-1. The last time England played Australia was also, just like tomorrow, in a friendly at 7:45, which is the kickoff time for tomorrow's game against Australia, on Friday the 27th of May 2016, which is the day we're playing them. We're playing them on a Friday. And it was at the Stadium Light. Obviously, we're playing at Wembley, but the first ever game between England and Australia was at the Stadium of Light, a 2-1 win. Goals from Rashford, and Rooney for England in the 3rd and 55th minute, in the 3rd minute and the 55th minute, and an own goal from Eric Dyer gave England a 2-1 win. That was the first and last time we played Australia. This game, the game tomorrow against Australia, will only be the England men's team's second game against Australia. City and, like I said, England and Australia have only played each other once. 2016, on the 27th of May, on a Friday, 2-1 win for England. That was the last and only time England played Australia, which makes this game against Australia City's second ever fixture against Australia, which is kind of weird given the fact in cricket Australia and England have this massive rivalry with the Ashes. In the Women's Euros they had a big rivalry, and in the Women's World Cup when we played each other, it was a lot of the post match was about the rivalry between England and Scotland, England and Australia. And even in rugby, men's and women's rugby, there's also a rivalry between Australia and England. So given the fact that there's a rivalry between Australia and England, women's rugby, men's rugby, women's football, women's cricket and men's cricket, it's surprising to see that there's no such rivalry between the men's England team and the men's Australian team, which is kind of which is a very crazy thing which is very crazy. Enough about that. We're going to be previewing the game tomorrow at Wembley against Australia. That kicks off at 7:45, so just under a day from now, as I'm filming this. As I'm filming it's currently, as I'm filming this part, it's currently nearly 10 to 8, and tomorrow at 7:45, England will be playing against Australia. So it's just under a day. So the Australia game is just under a day away. We're gonna go through a few things. We're gonna preview the game by going through the squad. We're going to talk about a bit about the England squad that Southgate picked, minus one of the players due to them pulling out due to injury. Some people, if you watch football, you probably know who that player I'm talking about is. We'll go through England's recent form in their last 6 games. Which, just to say, is England's form in the last 6 games is very good. And I will give you my prediction for the starting 11. And I will also be giving you my score prediction. And then I will be doing my final thoughts ahead of the game. So 5 sections to talk about. 5 sections to cover. Squad. And talk about the squad. Recent form, last 6 games. Talk about those last 6. Talk about England's last 6 games. Predict start 11. Talk about the 11 I've chosen to play. That I've picked to play against Australia. The goal scorers. My score prediction. The goal scorers and the assisters. And then my final thoughts. Let's start with the squad. So the squad in full, the England squad in full, is Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford of Everton, Aaron Ramsdale of Arsenal, Sam Johnson of Crystal Palace, Kyle Walker of Man City, Kieran Trippier of Newcastle, John Stones of Manchester City, Harry Maguire of Manchester United, Fikayo Tomori of AC Milan, Lewis Dunk of Brighton, Levi Colwill of Chelsea, and Mark Gahey of Palace. Those are the goalkeepers and defenders. Trent of Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool, Jude Bellingham of the mighty Real Madrid, who's on fire in the Liga, by the way. Conor Gallagher of Chelsea, Jordan Henderson of Al Ettifaq, the only player in the squad who plays outside of Europe. Calvin Phillips of Manchester City, Declan Rice of Arsenal, Jarrod Bowen of West Ham, Phil Foden of Manchester City, Jack Grealish of Manchester City, Harry Kane of Bayern Munich, James Maddison of Tottenham, Eddie Nketiah of Arsenal, Marcus Rashford of Man United, and Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa. So that's the England squad for these 2 games against Australia and Italy, minus Bukayo Saka, who pulled out of the squad due to the injury he suffered against Lyon in the Champions League a week ago. So yeah, that's the squad minus Saka. My general thoughts with the squad: it's a good squad. I think I think Nick Pope is unlucky not to get in this squad over Sam Johnston. But the way Nick Pope plays is the way Nick Pope plays is for me, Nick Pope doesn't play the way that England want to play because he's not great with his feet. Whereas I think Ramsdale and Pickford have shown that they are good with their feet. Whereas Nick Pope's shown he can be a bit suspect with his feet. And then as for defenders, I think three of them speak for themselves. Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, John Stones. I think for me they would be my they would be my guaranteed starters in the Euros in the Euros. If I could pick, those would be my start. Those three would be in my defence in this summer's Euros for the big games. So for the games against France, the games against Germany, the games against Spain, the games against Italy, the games against Portugal, the games against Belgium, if we play any of those teams. So that would be those three definitely for me would be guaranteed starters in the Euros starting 11. And then as for the others, Harry Maguire. Obviously, his inclusion is a bit controversial, given the fact some people don't think he deserves it, and based on his form, based on Man United Maguire, no chance. He shouldn't be in the squad. But England Maguire should be in the squad because England Maguire is so good. Tomori, great. I think he's finally getting he's finally getting the spot he deserves. Lewis Dunk, he's 29, but my God, he's a decent player. He seems to be very consistent. Lewis Dunk. He rarely has a bad game for Brighton, in my opinion. Levi Colwill, I think, great young centre back, great person to have around the squad. And Mark Gahey, I think, is okay. I don't think he's spectacular, but what I've seen of him, he is a good centre back, and he was pretty good in the last international break against Scotland before he got stopped off at half time. Midfielders, Trent. If he was listed as a defender, I'd be like, no chance. But as he's listed as a midfielder, 100%. Trent should be playing midfield from now on. He's that good, attacking wise, that he should be playing centre mid in the midfield. Jude Bellingham. For me, behind Phil Foden, our most talented player. I think Foden, I'd say, is our most talented player in terms of technical ability and just generally, Foden's the best player in England in terms of technical ability. There is no one better in the England squad, in England, that is more talented technical-wise than Foden. Maybe some people would say Saka. For me, Foden's more technical. I think Saka's great, but Foden's more talented. Outside Foden, I'd say Jude Bellingham is the second most talented player currently for England. For me, it would be Phil Foden, most top, then Jude Bellingham, and then I'd say Bukayo Saka. So I definitely think I'd say only Phil Foden is more technically talented and more in general talent. I'd say only Foden is more talented than Jude Bellingham. That may be biased because I'm a City fan, but loads of pundits have said over the years, every single thousands and thousands, not literally thousands and thousands, figuratively, thousands and thousands of pundits over the years have said, pundits over the years have been asked the question, who is the most technically gifted and most talented England player right now? That loads of people bring Phil Foden up when they're asked that question. So for me, other than Ben, I think only Phil Foden is more talented than Jude Bellingham. But obviously, Jude Bellingham is very talented and 100% deserves our squad. He's, after Harry Kane, probably the first name on the team sheet. Conor Gallagher, him and Jordan Henderson. Conor Gallagher, I like him as a player. He's good. He had a great season with Crystal Palace on loan from Chelsea a few seasons ago, but I don't think he's good enough. Like, how he's getting in the England squad over James Ward-Prowse is beyond me. James Ward-Prowse, for me, is playing in a team who's having a better season in West Ham, and I think he's just generally a better player than Conor Gallagher. So, Conor Gallagher's inclusion baffles me. To be honest, I would rather have Conor Gallagher over Jordan Henderson than Conor Gallagher over James Ward-Prowse. And as for Jordan Henderson, speaking of Jordan Henderson, give credit. He's been such a reliable player for England and Liverpool over the years. But for me, if Henderson's not playing at the top level of football, he shouldn't be considered for this England squad. And also, he's 32, playing in the Saudi League. Do you really want a 32-year-old who's playing in the Saudi League, which, yes, you get a lot of money by playing for a club in the Saudi League, but the quality in the Saudi League in terms of the teams is nowhere near the quality of the Premier League, the Liga, Bundesliga, Syria, even the Dutch League, even the Scottish League. Rangers and Celtic could probably beat some of the Saudi Arabian sides. So generally, I think if you're that old, 32 years old, if you're 32 years old and you're playing in the Saudi League, you just can't make the squad, in my personal opinion. Calvin Phillips, I totally get his inclusion. Other than the Declan Rice, I wouldn't say England have a specialist 6, and all good teams need a 6, an 8, and a 10. I think the best sort of midfield is when you have a 6, a CDM, an 8, a central midfielder, and a 10, a cam. That logic is gonna come into my starting 11 prediction, by the way. But let's continue on with talking about the squad. Calvin Phillips, other than Declan Rice, he's our only specialist 6. Yes, he's not playing as much games as he would like for Man City, but when Rodri's playing ahead of you, when Rodri's ahead of you, you're unlikely to start. But Calvin Phillips, like I said, is the only, other than Declan Rice, is the only specialist 6. And I think every team needs two quality specialist 6s. And yes, Calvin Phillips hasn't played much game time over the last season and a bit. But what he's done for England is great. What he's done for England cannot be disregarded. What he did at Leeds cannot be disregarded. How good he can be as a player shouldn't be disregarded. And also, he was named in 2021 England's Player of the Year. So, yes, he's had a rough time of it at Man City. But, other than Declan Rice, he's the only specialist 6 that England have. And then, speaking of Declan Rice, again, just something special. He's something special. Jarrod Bowen, and let's talk about the two new members of the squad soon. They're not really new, but they haven't been involved in the squad for a while now. Phil Foden, like I said, the most talented England player right now, and I think at the end of his career could go down as the most talented English player of all time. Not being biased. I'm actually saying that he could, if he starts delivering for England like he delivers for Man City, I think he could be one of England's most talented players of all time. Maybe England's most talented player of all time, which is a hard thing to, which will be a very hard thing to achieve. It'll be very hard for Foden to become the most talented English player of all time, because he's got someone as talented as him in the squad in Jude Bellingham, and some of England's most talented players over the years are England legends. So I think if Foden starts playing for England like he plays for City, I think he could end his career as the most talented English player of all time. Jack Grealish, love him. Yeah, you can't hate but love him, Jack Grealish. He seems like such a nice guy, and he was definitely, and you could tell based on his first season, you can tell he was very disappointed with his first season at Manchester City. You could tell he felt sorry for himself that he struggled so hard in the 2021 season. But again, he didn't have the best of seasons. He still contributed towards City winning the Premier League. Then last season, he contributed towards us winning the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Premier League. He helped us win the treble. The way he stepped up in terms of goals and assists, the way he stepped up not just in terms of goals and assists, but in terms of his all-round play last season was amazing. He was one of our best players during the unbeaten. He was one of our best players during the unbeaten run at the Etihad in the Champions League, and he was also stunning and he was amazing. He has an absolutely amazing season last season round. He put the bad first season behind him and went last season and smashed it. And again, he's been at City This season is Jack Grealish's third season at Man City, and he's won the Premier League twice, the Champions League once. He's won the Premier League twice. Once in his first year, a second time in his second year. He's won the Champions League once in his second year. He's won the FA Cup once in his second year. He's a treble winner. He's a treble winner after last season, and he's already won the Super Cup this season. So he's been at City for 3 seasons, and he's won the Premier League twice, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the Club World Cup and the Super Cup. That is 5 trophies in the space of 3 years. Yes, he didn't have the biggest role in the first season and that Premier League title in his first season, but still contributed towards that and contributed towards all the trophies last season and helped and performed decently well in the Super Cup. Wasn't amazing, but performed well enough in the Super Cup. But Jack Grealish, again, I'm curious to see how many trophies did he have at the end of his third season at the club. I do expect him to win at least one more trophy with the Club World Cup, and based on my early season prediction, and I do think we will win the Premier League, and I do think we'll win the Champions League for the second season in a row. But enough of debate. We've talked about Jack Grealish for a little while. Harry Kane, he's our captain. He's captain supreme and deserves his spot. Doing really well for Bayern, and I love to see it. When Kane at Tottenham was a great player, but Kane at Tottenham was a great player, but I didn't like him I didn't like Tottenham Harry Kane. Maybe that's because he scored loads of goals against Man City, but generally I just didn't like him at Spurs, and he's gone to Bayern, and he's only 8 games into the Bundesliga season, or it might be 7. He is already He's already 7 games into his Bayern Munich career, and I already love him more than I loved him at Tottenham, which is kind of crazy. Harry Kane, Captain Supreme, he's our captain. He has to be in every squad. He's going to he's going to play a big role in the Euros this summer. Well, next summer, because obviously the Euros is in 2024. James Maddison, yeah, he's okay. I don't know if he deserves a spot in the England squad, but he's a good player. He's had a good season for Spurs. Nothing to say. Maddison deserves his spot in the squad, and that's that. Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, we got 3 strikers in this team, which I think can be a bad idea. I think it's good to have 3 strikers, because especially for England, if Kane gets injured, then Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, or Callum Wilson could step up. If Ollie Watkins, Callum Wilson, or Toney not Toney, but if Callum Wilson if Kane gets injured, Ollie Watkins or Callum Wilson can start. If Ollie Watkins is out of form, if Ollie Watkins or Callum Wilson are out of form and Nketiah is in form, they can start Nketiah. So it's good to have 3 strikers, but it's also not good to have 3 strikers because, for me, Eddie Nketiah is the third choice striker in the squad. I think Kane and Watkins would play ahead of Eddie Nketiah against Italy. But obviously Kane will start against Italy. But if I had to say who is least likely to start against Italy, who's least likely to start against Italy between Harry Kane, Ollie Watkins and Nketiah, for me it is Nketiah. Marcus Rashford, yes, he's out of form, but yes, he plays for Man United. So, and as I hate United, I don't really like a lot of their players, like Bruno Fernandes, fuck him, like Casemiro, like the only Man United player I like somewhat. Well, the only Man United players that I like somewhat are Rasmus Højlund, who I think it was a very good signing, given his early form, and Harry Maguire. Those are the only 2 United players off the top of my head that I can think I generally like. Like, I despise Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is a good player, but his character and the way he plays football and the way he goes down way too easily just pisses me off. I just don't like him as a player. I just don't like him as a person, Bruno. I'm happy that Ronaldo left, because Ronaldo made Bruno Fernandes an even better player. Ronaldo leaving made Bruno Fernandes a better player. But still, even though he's a good player, I hate his personality. I don't like him as a person. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say the only 2 players in the Man United squad that I somewhat like, Rasmus Højlund, and it would be Rasmus Højlund, who I think was a great pickup for United, and Maguire. Marcus Rashford, I like him as a player and a person. He's a very good player, and he seems like a very nice person. So outside of Højlund and Maguire, I'd say he's for me, the third nicest and the third somewhat, in my opinion, player. The third place player in terms of likeness for me. But Marcus Rashford deserves his spot. Yes, he's on a bad run of form, but still deserves his spot. Ollie Watkins and Jarrod Bowen are the final 2 forwards. Ollie Watkins hasn't played for England in a while, and Jarrod Bowen and Ollie Watkins, neither Jarrod Bowen or Ollie Watkins have been involved in an England squad for a long time, for a little while. Actually, let me check. When the last time they were in the squad. When was the last time Watkins was in an England squad? The last time Ollie Watkins was in the England squad was in March 2022. So yeah, Ollie Watkins hasn't been in an England squad and hasn't played for England since March of last year. He scored his second England goal in a 3-0 friendly win over Ivory Coast. That was the last time Watkins was in the England squad, and the last time Jarrod Bowen was in the England squad. The last time Jarrod Bowen was in the England squad was May of last year. So Watkins and Jarrod Bowen, Ollie Watkins and Jarrod Bowen haven't been in the England squad since last year. Watkins March of last year, Jarrod Bowen May of last year. So to see them in this squad based on that is good. Like, Jarrod Bowen currently smashing it for West Ham, and Ollie Watkins, he had a slow start in the first few games for Villa, but since that hat-trick against Brighton, he's been killing it. Since that hat-trick against Hibernian in the Conference League qualifiers, he's been killing it. So yeah, Ollie Watkins and Jarrod Bowen are worthy inclusions in the squad based on their current form. Now that we've gone through the England squad, we're going to go through the England's recent form, which in this case is going to be England's last 6 games. So England's last 6 games were Scotland away, Ukraine away, North Macedonia at home, Malta away, Ukraine at home, and Italy away. Italy away. The last game for England, obviously Scotland, which was the last England game, we won 3-1, and that was obviously at Hampden Park in the anniversary match to mark the first time Scotland and England played a professional game against each other. Then before that in the last international break, we drew 1-1 in Ukraine in Poland against Ukraine, with Kyle Walker scoring the equaliser, which was his first goal for England after Zinchenko scored an opener early on for Ukraine. We beat North Macedonia was a 7-0 win at Old Trafford, where Bukayo Saka, who's not going to be playing in these two international games who's not going to be playing in the two games in this international break for England due to injury, scored a hat-trick. Then before Macedonia, we beat Malta 4-0 in Malta. We beat Ukraine 2-0 at Wembley, with Kane scoring yet again with Kane scoring his first goal after becoming England's all-time top goal scorer. And there was also a wonder goal from Saka. And the previous game and the game before that, the last game we're going to talk about in terms of England's recent form, was a 2-1 win away in Italy against Italy, which was our first win in Italy since the 1960s, where Harry Kane scored the goal that made him the all-time top goal scorer for England, which not only did he score a goal that made him England's all-time top goal scorer, he also scored a goal that what's the word that I'm trying to say? Gave Kane what he deserved. Like that World Cup semi-final, that World Cup quarter-final against France. Painful. Really painful. Really, 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 really painful. Obviously, we all know what happened. England got a penalty in the last minutes got a penalty late on went at 2-1 down. I think at 1-0 at 1-1, which if he scored would have put England 2-1 up and would have put England on the verge of a semi-final of the World Cup against Morocco. And obviously we all know what happened. He missed the penalty, and France then not long later, scored a goal for Olivier Giroud to go 2-1 up, and then obviously we got knocked out. So it banished the demons that he had in that game. The goal that put us 2-0 up against Italy and made him England's all-time top goal scorer. But so those are our last 6 games. That's our recent form. Our last 6 games: Scotland 3-1 at Hampden Park, 3-1 win at Hampden Park. Ukraine 1-1 draw in Poland. North Macedonia 7-0 win at Old Trafford. Malta 4-0 win in Malta. Ukraine 2-0 win at Wembley, and Italy, the other team that we're playing in this national break, 2-1 in Italy to win our first game in Italy against Italy since the 1960s. So yeah, that's our last 6 games. So in our last 6 games, we've picked up 5 wins, 1 draw. So we're currently unbeaten in our last 5 games, which given the fact, after the heartbreak in the World Cup is very good. But now that we've gone through their recent form, time to give you my predictions for the starting 11. Starting 11 for me, for me, the starting 11 against Australia will be this: Jordan Pickford in goal. I think you could start Ramsdale or Sam Johnston, but I think Pickford could use as much game time I think Pickford needs to play as much for England as he possibly can going into the Euros. So I would be saying to Southgate, and I would be begging Southgate right now to start Pickford in every game up to the Euros in the summer, because he is our number 1 goalkeeper. he should be starting because of what he's done for England. But if he is rested for any of these games against North Macedonia, Malta, Australia, or Italy in the next 2 international breaks, this one and next month's international break, then I don't think I think his shot might suffer at the Euros in the summer. So I would start Jordan Pickford in goal against Australia. My back four consists of Kieran Trippier at left back. We have no current left back with Shaw, Chilwell out injured. Yes, there's Leo Cole who has played at left back for Chelsea, but I don't see Southgate. I don't see Southgate picking a centre back to play at left back when he can play Trippier at left back. But also, I generally don't think he would start. I generally wouldn't start Cole because he hasn't played, because he hasn't started a proper game for England yet. For the men's team, obviously, he has played games for the under-21s, but not for the men's team. I have at right back Kyle Walker, who for me is the best right back of all time in the Premier League. And then between Trippier and Walker as the centre backs is Fikayo Tomori, who I think deserves a chance in the back two with my other centre back who is against Australia, who I think will play against Australia, and that is our best defender, John Stones. Not just best centre back, our best defender, John Stones. So yeah, put Pickford in goal, a back four of Trippier at left back, Kyle Walker at right back, Tomori and Stones as a centre back pairing. I've chosen a midfield three of Declan Rice, Trent in the CDM, Declan Rice as a six, Trent Alexander-Arnold as an 8, and Jude Bellingham as a 10. And then a front three of James Maddison on the right. Yes, James Maddison on the right in the last international break against Ukraine didn't really work out much. But if you give James Maddison the freedom on the right hand side, I think he would be amazing. I think with Saka out, James Maddison would be amazing. With Saka out, James Maddison can show why Tottenham paid the £40 million from Leicester to sign him up. So James Maddison on the right, I think he's the best. Foden I would rest for the Italy game, and as I would rest Foden for the Italy game, there's only one other option to play on that right hand side, and for me that's James Maddison. It would be Bukayo Saka if he didn't withdraw from the squad due to injury. And then on the left is Jack Grealish. Like I said, I would rest Foden. I wouldn't play him on the right or the left. I would be surprised though if Southgate didn't start Foden, because he gave Foden. I think he started Foden. Well, he subbed Foden on against Ukraine, but he started Foden against Scotland, which shows that Southgate does trust Foden a lot to play in the front three. But enough about Foden. This is about Jack Grealish. On the left, Jack Grealish, and up top, yes, it's against us. Yes, the game's against Australia, but you have to play Kane. You have to play Kane in every game for me. So let's go through my team, my starting 11 prediction one more time. Jordan Pickford in goal, a back four of Trippier, John Stones, Fikayo Tomori and Kyle Walker, which I think is a really solid back four. Declan Rice, a midfield three of Declan Rice as a 6, Trent as an 8, and Jude Bellingham as a 10. Jack Grealish on the left, James Maddison, who for me, given the right tools and given the freedom, can play on the right, and then up top Harry Kane. And then so that's my predicted starting 11 for the game tomorrow against Australia. And now we're on to score prediction. My score prediction for England Australia is a 3-0 home win. The 3 goals will come from Phil Foden, will come from Harry Kane with a brace, and Phil Foden off the bench. And assists will be and in terms of assists, it will be 2 assists for James Maddison for the 2 goals that Kane, and then assists James Maddison with 2 and Trent Alexander with 1. So those are my predictions. Go through my predictions one more time. England 3, a 3-0 win at home to England at Wembley to England against Australia. Goals from Harry Kane with a brace and Phil Foden, and assists from James Maddison with a brace of assists and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Maddison will get both assists for Harry Kane's goals, and Trent will get the assist for Phil Foden's goal. So yeah, we've gone through the squad. In my opinion, we've gone through the England squad and my opinion on the England squad. We've gone through the recent form and my opinion, which is very good going into this game against Australia. Going into the game against Australia and Italy, I've gone through my particular start 11 for the game against Australia, and I've given my score prediction for the game against Australia. And now we're on to the final part of this video, which is my final thoughts ahead of the game. I'm confident that we can get the job done against an Australia side, like I said, who we haven't played since 2016, with this being our second ever international fixture against Australia since that match in 2016. I'm not worried about Australia anyway. I don't even know anything. I don't really know anything about the Australian team. I know everything about England, and I think we'll smash them, especially at Wembley where we're pretty solid. I am confident that we will get play really well and get a comfortable win against Australia. I don't think Australia will pose much of a threat. Anything else in terms of final thoughts? Oh, I was going to say what sort of improvement I want to see from England from their last 6 games. Well, minus Scotland, because that was the perfect minus Macedonia. There's something I want to see more from England in this game against Australia, and that is taking more chances. We took loads of our chances against North Macedonia. We took 7 to be exact. We took 4 chances. Scored 4 goals again. We took 4 chances against Malta, scoring 4 goals. We played well against Italy, and we also played really well. We were miles better. We were miles better, the better side than Ukraine at Wembley. The game against Scotland was amazing, like so amazing. To shut Scotland up by beating them 3-1 was amazing. And then the Ukraine game away in Poland was a bit disappointing. I was happy to see Kyle Walker get his first goal for the club, but like I said, I want to see England take more of their chances, because England had a lot of chances in that Scotland game. A lot of chances that were gifted to them, and some of them they took, like the 2 goal, like the mistake leading to the Bellingham goal, like the mistake leading to the Foden goal. But again, we also had loads of other chances. So to get 3 was obviously great. It was my score prediction. My score prediction was 3-1 going into that game, so I was happy to get the score prediction right. But I was a bit disappointed with a few of the chances we wasted. But that's what I want to see improvement from the last 6 games. We don't need much improvement, given the fact North Macedonia at home was one of our best performances ever. Malta away was easy. Ukraine at home was impressive. Italy away, given the fact Italy were coming off the back of missing their 2nd successive World Cup, was impressive. But enough of that. Any more? I'm trying to think if I have any more final thoughts ahead of the game. I don't think so. That will be it for this preview, this Australia-England preview. Tomorrow night, after the England-Australia game, I will be giving you a review of the game. While watching the game tomorrow between England and Australia at 7:45, during the game tomorrow between England and Australia at 7:45, I will be taking notes on my tablet about the game, and then after the game's finished, I'm going to come on my channel and film a review where I'll go through with you my thoughts and feelings about my notes about the game, my thoughts and feelings about the result, whether it be a win, a draw, or a defeat. For me, it's obviously going to be a win. But tomorrow during the game at 7:40 between England and Australia, I will be taking notes on my tablet to help me ahead of my England-Australia review after the game. And on Monday next week, I will be doing this exact same video for the Italy game. On Monday I will be doing a preview like we've done today, but for the Italy game. And then while the Italy game is going on, I will also make notes on my tablet, and then after the game's finished, I will come on my channel and review that. So this has been the preview for tomorrow's game between England and Australia. I'll see you after the game tomorrow for my review of the game. I'll see you also on Monday for my preview of the Italy game, and on Tuesday after the game for my Italy review. So remember, one more time, tomorrow during the game I'll be taking notes to help me with the England-Australia review I'm going to do after the game tomorrow. Then on Monday we'll be doing a preview for the Italy game, and then after the Italy game on the Tuesday, and during the Italy game on the Tuesday, I'll be taking notes I'll also be taking notes for the Italy review. One more time. Today has been the preview for the England-Australia game. Tomorrow after the game, we'll do the review. On Monday, we'll be doing the England versus Italy. We'll be doing the Italy game with the England versus Italy game review, preview, and then after the game on Tuesday, we're going to be doing the review. So my next 3 videos: England-Australia review tomorrow after the game, Italy preview on Monday, Italy game, the preview for the Italy game that's being played on Tuesday, that will be released on Monday, and on Tuesday a review. Next 3 videos: England-Australia review after tomorrow's game, Monday next week Italy, a review for the Italy game on Tuesday, and Tuesday after the Italy game, and then after the Italy game on Tuesday, a review for the game. So this has been the preview for England-Australia. Tomorrow on Monday, tomorrow after the game, it's my England-Australia review. On Monday, it's my England versus Italy review preview, and then on Tuesday after the game against Italy, it's my England-Italy review. So tomorrow, like I said, you've got my review of the game tomorrow between England and Australia, my preview for England-Italy on Monday, and my review for England-Italy after the game on Tuesday. So those are the videos you can start looking forward to. This has been it for this video, though. This preview for the England-Australia game tomorrow. Put down in the comment section what your predicted lineup is for the England-Australia game, what your score prediction is for the England-Australia game, and also what your final thoughts ahead of the game are. I really want to see your comments. I really want to see what your opinions about tomorrow's game is, and I'll see you tomorrow for after the game for my England v Australia review. Hopefully by this time tomorrow. Hopefully by tomorrow night. Hopefully after the game tomorrow. Hopefully in the game tomorrow we'll come away with the win. But we'll wait and see. That's been it for this episode. Subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell to catch up with all my latest videos. Tune in tomorrow for the England-Australia review. Monday for the Italy-England review. And Tuesday for the Monday for the Italy-England preview. And Tuesday for the Italy-England review. But until the England-Australia review, the England-Italy review, the England-Italy preview, and the England-Italy review, I am out. Peace, bye, adios, and have a good night. Oh, and one more thing. Remember, it's international break. No Premier League predictions video this week, obviously, it being international break. And there will also be no Premier League predictions video next week because, again, we'll still be in the international break. But after the international break, we'll be back with the Premier League predictions and the Champions League predictions because it's the second week, a week next tomorrow, not next week, but the week after next, the Champions League returns. So, a week Monday, we will be doing my Champions League predictions for game week 3, and a week Wednesday, I'll be filming my Premier League predictions for the first game week after the international break, and on Thursday the video will be released. So again, the review, the England-Australia review tomorrow, the England-Italy preview Monday, the England-Italy review Tuesday, my Champions League predictions for game week 3, the following Monday, and my Premier League predictions the following Thursday, which which, like I said, will be filmed on Wednesday but released on Thursday. Hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I'm going to say it again. Subscribe to my channel and click the notification to catch up with all my latest videos. But until next time, once more, I'm out. Peace, bye, have a good day, and adios.